Look at this. This is fresh and new. What's up, Beardies and Beardettes? You're listening to a new, fresh, fine episode of the Beardy Bros podcast.
Woo!
What's up, Jim? How we doing?
Not much, man. What is cracking?
Like, look at this. We finally got it. We've got video for the
It,
YouTube. Like, oh, I'm so keen. This is gonna be so different. It's like but it's like
so good.
well behind the camera we were hidden. It was just our voices. Now we're in front of the camera. We're gonna kind of be some form of professional, but like whatever. What's up? I don't know.
What is professional?
In this day and age, with what we see online, anything seems to be. So,
True that. True that.
So
Excuse me.
if you're listening as always on Spotify and every other platform, we have now got YouTube up and running for video. So it's not just audio on YouTube; it's actual video. You can see our beardy mugs like up on your screen. So
Not literal mugs, but
no, we'll have mugs with our faces on them
yeah.
eventually, and there'll be beardy merch. So that's stuff I've got to design. I'll be getting onto that now. I've got everything like going in stream. It's just like boom, 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 boom. Just gonna start doing everything now.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
It's
be
gonna be so good,
so good.
so good. I'm just gonna adjust that there.
So
Give me a minute.
excited for this year now. Like
Oh,
episode 2, like
my
season
screen.
2, episode 2. Things are going great. It's so
Oh,
good.
it's doing alright for us. I mean, we're doing fine. So, 21, 20 or 21. Well, I mean, it's 21. So 2021 has been a fairly rough start. A lot of people wanting their refund after the 7-day trial. They're like, I want to cancel my free subscription. It's
I think I'm in that boat.
it's been quite interesting. It's been very all over the place. So, ooh.
It's pretty much just kicked off from 2020, like the same shit,
Just continuing, same shit, different day.
same shit, same shit, different year. Like it's
Maybe
gotten worse, I think.
maybe I broke the time paradox by taking a shit at like just before 12, like at
Oh,
the end
so
of the
you
year.
did the time
And then
thing.
I did the shit over. I shitted over from one over to the next time, so I shitted from 1 year to a new year. So
So you did a shit for the. Wait, I was
I
trying
did
to get a smart joke
I
there,
did a
but I
shit for
couldn't.
a
I
whole
fucked it
year.
up. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you did a shit for a whole year. Like that's pretty impressive.
So I mean, we're still seeing. I was gonna say we're still seeing repercussions because of the whole COVID thing. Still, a lot of industries are still being shaken from it, which is pretty crazy. But I mean,
Yo,
we've been shaked. For us, we've been shaked in the right direction. So
right?
it's like, look at it.
I mean,
Oh,
yous have just recently got another mini teeny lockdown for a few days.
yes, it's a weird 3 day. I feel like it's
Should be
definitely.
longer.
It should, realistically, a lockdown should be longer. I mean, even how they've done the lockdown, it's kind of lax. It's like, oh, it's lockdown, but of course, essential workers can still do their working. People can still go to the shops for their essential goods, which restricted is weird. But then you
I
can
mean,
still
makes
have,
sense, but
yeah, well, you can still have like 2 visitors over. Like,
two's better than before. It was what
what's the point of a lockdown if you can have
10?
guests over
Like,
to your house? It's locked down, not locked partly with the window cracked open. Like,
but you got to think that
uh,
a lot of people be sick of lockdown because we've had it for not so long. We've had it in bursts.
mm,
That if we
makes
kept the
sense.
whole time, we would have had no cases.
Exactly. And I don't know.
So
I think this is like a trial and error for trying to see, I guess, how far this current case is spreaded, especially for
we're,
us up here.
we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot because we were doing so well.
Well,
We got what's the word? Complacent, maybe?
yeah.
Got
Well, that's
complacent, and
that's the thing.
boom, Sydney got it. Yous have got it.
Well,
Melbourne got it again.
we had that issue where it was that lady that was a cleaner that worked at one of the quarantine hotels who ended up catching it, but it's the UK strain. Questions. Questions. Like, why do we have the UK strain on our shores?
I guess someone
Why?
travelled. Like
I thought, traveling shouldn't be a thing. Like, the world's still
that's
infected.
not banned, but it was frowned upon.
No, I don't know. It's just, yeah.
You got a slap on the wrist if you actually
Uh,
travelled. But
it's
I
so
mean, some
stupid.
people probably had to for work, maybe, and they
Most
caught
probably.
it and brought it over.
Bring it over here, you bastards, you bastards.
We are fucking
So,
bastards.
so because of these
Not that we're
kind of
calling COVID
situations,
carriers bastards by any means.
no, it's just people being inconsiderate though. That's the bastards. I'm not
It's
going to
carrying.
wear a mask. I'm gonna buy all the toilet paper. Oh, rah, 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 rah.
Yes, my dudes, it's happened again.
You think we would have learnt, like, how people should have learnt from the first, well, 2 to 3 times, but clearly they have not. They have bought all the toilet paper again. Oh.
It's one of them things that out of all the stuff, like where's your fresh water? Where's your like your I mean, it was packets of pasta and toilet paper, toilet rolls.
Yeah,
That's what people wanted. Like,
yeah.
where's your veg and shit? Like, get the fresh stuff. So at least you got a bit to.
There,
It's for 3 fucking days.
there was actually some locations of like Coles and Woolworths that had actually had their fruit and veg like wiped out. People had just like
Ooh.
pillaged through. There was one video I saw where I'll have to see if I can try and find it. I actually might do some fancy stuff and put it in here if I can. We'll see how we go. Um,
I
um,
think that might be next one because we might have to
yeah,
play with it just
I don't know how
in
this is gonna
case
go. I
you
may try
in
and
case
see if
you
I can
end it.
edit some stuff and see if I can put stuff into this. You may see it, you may
Uh,
not. Who knows? It's like the luck of the draw with how I go with editing it. But no, there was a
right?
video I saw, and this person filmed like all these different aisles. Like the bread aisle was empty, the toilet paper aisle was empty, all the fruit and veg was gone. Like people had like gone mad and actually like bought up like everything. The shop was legit
Oh,
bare of food. I was like, wow, that's crazy. People like really got onto it. But it's like it's only
but
three days. Like
technically it's less than three. Like,
yeah,
it's just the weekend, really.
yeah, and that's why people are like going, oh, how are the repercussions. I'm like, it's realistically again, it's only the weekend. It's not actually during the week. Nothing's really changed. It's like you've got the weekend off plus Monday. Like it's like, hey, everyone have a 3-day weekend. Like
But the
so,
weird part is, if you've already got the toilet paper, why do you need more for an extra few hours at home?
yeah, like people don't know how to
Do
crap
you
properly.
shit like? Do they use like a roll every time they go or
Well, that's
something?
why
Like,
I'm
Jesus
confused.
Christ.
Like I shit once a day. I'm very responsible with my toilet use, especially from like the first wave of like when this happened. I'd like learnt to be conservative of toilet paper. I learnt
Right?
tricks, conserve, use it last longer, and now I run
You
with it
learn
all the
tricks.
time.
Scoop.
Scoop, boy, get the scooper out, little speed, and skip
Yeah.
it,
Hey,
swirl it around.
and at least now we can do hand gestures and they actually get it.
I am a
Like
robot.
the robot. The
I
frame rate's a bit.
know my frame rate's janky compared to yours. You got a nice camera. Mine's very old. It says, "Whoa."
It's not the best camera. It's only a webcam. They don't give you the best quality.
No, that's exactly it. It's a Logitech, but it's one of the basic cheap models.
I've got a Logi.
You got a nice one. Yours is really decent frame rate.
It's like 30, I think.
It's pretty good. I don't know what mine is. Mine must be 10.
I think you got to upgrade the Discord. Like you got to get Nitro to get the high quality out of your camera. Like, yeah.
Oh, so stupid. I mean, if you just buy a decent camera, then you'd be fine. So,
I might get an actual proper Sony camera, like the
oh,
big chunker one, and just
I say
chuck it there on like an arm and just
it just falls on your face.
uh,
It's too heavy. Um, but yeah, so
carrying the weight of the stream.
it's getting us all back.
Oh,
But I was like, speaking of things though, like for podcasts, like I got to upgrade stuff. You've already been upgrading stuff for not just podcasts, but for your streaming as well. So you've got
yeah.
a few new toys. Hmm?
um,
Like if
yeah,
I mean
no.
people don't know, so they wouldn't have seen it. Like they would be like, oh, like me, where this is this. But I mean, it took you like for how long to set that up the other day? Uh, I might even use some of that footage. I
Ah,
might use some of that footage for like a blooper thing I put up on YouTube.
great footage. Oh no.
I recorded that where you're like, there's no audio and you're like doing stuff and there's just no sound. It's just me talking to you and you're just like muted the whole time. I've got footage of that and then where I want to find that one where it like froze. Where you're like doing something, you're like, and you just froze in a spot looking so awkward. I need
I
to
don't
find
think I
that and
did
clip it.
freeze. I think that was me actually doing that.
No, like no, it froze up. Like nothing was
Oh, I
moving
did
at
it.
all. Like you could not see the lights flickering. Like no reflections. Oh, it was so funny.
Oof.
So
Oof.
so no, but no, yeah, you got your new light that blinds the hell out of everything.
that's why I'm super pasty
He's
because I
he's
have
he's
got a
adjusted it.
tan. But
Yeah, he has adjusted it because he was super white. Like his eyes, like nostrils, everything just blended to one white paste, like flat wall.
like,
It looked
you want to see
funny.
how white it is? I've got stuff written on that.
It's like a
I've
magic
got
trick,
stuff
I
written on it.
guess.
You just can't see it when it's back here.
Uh, until it focuses. But yeah, so he's got a new mic and new light. So I'm gonna have to look at getting a new light. I've been eyeing off a few things and then look at getting a camera at least. We might
Yeah.
have to get a mic as well, but they're
I
little
mean, got the
things to get
same
through.
camera. It's a couple of hundred. It's not too bad.
Hmm,
Better than getting a proper DSLR and just mounting that to a boom arm and just
that's
or a
exactly it.
stand or whatever it is. I mean, that is the way to go if
Yeah,
you want
well,
to
that's
get a proper
well.
camera.
I've got my new nice desk, which is good. No one really sees it. I got my new nice L-shaped desk, which
I
is
know
great. It's fitting
you
everything
could
on
use
here.
our phones for our cameras at some point
Could do.
because the phones have the best. They've got better cameras than the webcams.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised. I haven't seen it. It doesn't look like there's a feature, but I'm surprised Anchor doesn't have a built-in like camera system when you're recording. Because you could just do like
Yeah,
on-the-go
podcast. I
podcasts,
mean,
like on your phone, just like
not everyone does video podcasts, so it's mainly like
audio.
stuff for Spotify, and that's just
Hmm.
audio.
But we want to branch out, and I've already being so like uploading
I
that
mean,
video, like the views and
this
everything's
is
come.
more. I prefer this
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
like video wise, because you get to connect with like
You can
whoever you're
see
listening to.
and you can do weird
You can
things.
see everything.
They can see what's going on. But no, I was gonna say, the
We're
last week's
not in.
episode's done pretty good. We've had 17 listens on the audio, um, up on everything. So like
Ooh,
Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, all that, Apple Podcasts, stuff like that. So in total, we've hit 17 listens. And the video on YouTube has been viewed at least 9 times so far. So
dang.
so I don't know how much they've watched, but like even then, like that still counts to something. Hopefully, people will appreciate this and actually get actual content. If they've seen the last one, then we got like the little disclaimer thing at the start as well. I'm going to use for all the episodes now. The little green screen, the like B rating and everything like that. I'm going to use that the smack bang at the start now for all of it. So
Yeah,
it's a,
that's sick.
it's a nice little gag. That took all forever to type all that out, like with all the because it's in the program, but like you can choose like and edit the text. So I had to like type everything out, make sure it was low aligned properly, but it's auto does it for you. I'm like, oh, you can like add effects that like smacks and slams. You can do it slides in. It's so good. So I'm keen to do all the cool little effects that we could have. But
It'd be interesting to see how far like you can take that stuff, like
yeah,
with the what's it called?
well, I was gonna say there's actually a feature that actually you can do certain effects, but it requires you to have Blender downloaded.
Blender.
Yeah,
I
which is
mean, we
which I was
both got
surprised.
Blender.
So I was
Well,
actually
I've got Blender.
because
Do you
well,
have Blender yet?
I had it on my I had it on my old computer. I got it on the new one, but I was like, that's kind of
Oh,
cool to
yeah.
use a program like Blender. It integrates across these apps to like do stuff to like make fancy like slide in like texts and stuff, like really cool like animated things. Like what? Like you could have like fire text and everything like that. I was like, oh my god, like this is actual like
Fire.
cross yeah,
Ooh,
like rendered animated intro. I'm like, what? We could do so much cool things. So that's stuff that I might look at trying to do
I want fire
through the
text.
go. Just Jim. I'll just put Jim on fire if I can. I mean, if I can manage to put Jim on fire, I'll do an effect. And I'll put Jim on fire right now. So it may not happen. So if it doesn't happen when you watch this on YouTube, it means I failed miserably. I might just put in just a little fire image. Just put fire image in. Still, I don't know. I'm
Oh,
just trying. I want to do
man,
cool
I'm
things
already
here.
on
So.
fire.
So yeah, so maybe I'll be alchemist and do some crazy stuff. So who knows? We'll see how this goes. Oh, so I mean, if you haven't noticed already, we've got some fabulous clothes on at the moment. Not plugging too much, but Jim's got one of the OG Beardy Bros podcast shirts. I am wearing the Beardy hoodie, so it's pretty slick. It's pretty nice.
Which
It
does
is
look pretty dope.
it is like it is like not the weather to wear a hoodie, but it's that kind of thin where it's you could just wear this kind of through summer, but then it's good for winter as well. Like it's really nice. So it's
I
nice
mean,
and
it's not
comfy.
for too long. It's only for an hour or so. You got to wear it,
Oh,
so
it's nice and comfy though. Like I'm like,
it's
ooh,
not like the whole day.
no, but I can get away with wearing it for so long. I forget how comfy it is. It's crazy.
I've
So
definitely got to. I might get one tonight, actually.
you might get one tonight. I gotta get the new shirt. There's all those designs too. I realized too, a lot of the designs I had for all the new Beardy merch, I realized that I did when I was staying at the in-laws and they were on the laptop.
Oh,
So I've lost those as well.
oh,
So I'm like, oh shit, all the like stuff I was wearing on that spiders logo and thing, like that's what I had started doing.
no.
That's gone. I'm like, no, I didn't even realize that it was all on that because of working on one system, then another system, then another system, and everything gets forgotten like what's on what. And I'm like, oh no, that's all on the laptop. Fuck. So now I've got all this shit I got to go through again and start from scratch and make.
Ooh,
So like all the
ooh.
assets I had, all the resources I was using, just everything's gone. So I'm like,
That
fuck.
that's a bit
Yeah,
that's a bit harsh.
it is. So
I
that was a
mean,
big kicker,
at
but
least now
it's
you've
what
got a
happens.
clean slate for that. Like, if you didn't like some aspects of the last one, you can just pretty much
Improve on it.
take what you did like and just smack it straight down.
Yeah,
Like,
like I've learned. And then, for me anyway, every time I do something and then come back and do another thing, I've improved. So like my style is always changing. It's never the same, which is kind of tricky. So at least this year stuff
I
will be a
mean,
little bit
but
different.
you then you get nothing the same,
Mm.
which is also good. Like, you get
Ooh.
something unique every time. Like, just say you've got two of the same thing, but
Yeah,
one to be slightly different than the other.
exactly. Oh, that screen's gone dark.
Like this T-shirt, I've got a white line through the Beauty Bros that
Yeah.
no one ever did that.
It's I updated that straight away once I realized, and I was like at the same time it's
And
like after you'd already bought it and
can
sent
you
it
even
through, I was like,
see it?
oh
I
shit,
think you can.
you can't see it there, but I think if you look close you can see it. I can just see it near
No,
the A and the R.
I can see it there.
It's a
It's there.
typo,
It's a
but
big white
it's
line.
unique. If it was a proper nice solid line, it would be fine. But because it was like a phased erased line, I was like, oh no.
But how did that get in there though? That's weird.
It was something that you couldn't see because all the different layerings, and when you look at it, because it's like a fuzzed line, on the program it looks like nothing because the pixels aren't there, but when it's converted over, it generates them into solid pixels. So it
Ooh.
creates the line. I was like, fuck, I realized that had happened. So I was like, correct, I need to do it, but you'd already ordered it. And I was like, oh shit, too late, he's got to have that. I've updated it. And I was like, oh well. But it looks great. It
I mean,
actually looks really good,
I'm not, I'm not, I'm not fast. I've got a limited edition. When I get a second
basically.
one, I'll frame this one. Really,
Mm. No, it
is
actually
how to
looks really
frame
good.
and just
Like,
hang it,
actually on material, it looks really good.
and then we can say we've done that.
We'll have to, well, eventually, once we're together, we'll have to sign it so it's both mine and you signed it and you can frame it.
Oh yeah, so we got the media rose on there.
Yeah,
Oh,
we can sign it together.
I'm
Oh.
just hoping nothing happens to it between now and then.
It should be
Oh
good.
no, I dropped spaghetti or something. Oh
Stained.
shit.
Oh, well, it's
Oh, it's
worn.
bleach.
Like little spots of like stains and stuff on it. Red wine stain on it, spaghetti
Ooh,
stain, and these weird spots, and then it's
it's
signed.
worn. I
uh, but no, but
mean,
yeah,
that
so
you
this is good.
should have got one though, just so we both had an OG,
I know. I mean, I still have the file somewhere, I think, backed up.
and just get
Like,
one for yourself, and
yeah,
just
or otherwise I'll just find that file that because I think that file's on my all-in-one system. So if I haven't updated, I could bring it up and then just put a white line through it.
oh dear.
But there's so many versions I've got of stuff. But no, I mean it's been a fairly quiet week in a way. But I've got some news I've dug up, and I've got some other little things I thought might chuck in there to pass the time. So there's something that I
I
need
mean,
to.
we're not passing time just because we've actually got stuff that's interesting. I
Yeah,
think.
that's
Well,
exactly it.
the
You
stuff
got
that
your
I know of that
notes.
we've got,
I got notes. We've got notes. So I
I
mean,
got
it's
newt,
you got the notes. So I mean, there's a lot of things going
newts.
on. So um, a lot is still being affected by COVID, by this pandemic. Like there's a lot still being affected. Um, in the sense that people aren't working as normal. People can't work as normal, especially the gaming industry. Um, I mean, I had
I
some
mean, they
issues.
can do semi-normal, like they can still get it done
Mm,
as we've seen.
mm,
Like Ghost of Tsushima, that was under development last year until it launched, and that was still a spectacular game.
exactly.
Last
So
of Us
just
2, that's polished as hell, and that was COVID-ish as well.
yep.
They
Well,
got delayed because
that was delayed because of COVID, hiccups and stuff like that. So yeah.
like, it can be done. Like we've had a fair few games. Doom Eternal came out there. I can't remember much else.
Yeah, one of those things.
Cyberpunk, you can say that, but that was forced out in the end.
Exactly. I think I still need a bit time to bake, but I mean, at the same time, it's gotten us by through COVID, so I've spent a lot
I
of
mean,
time playing.
I'm happy for as I showed you a picture. I've cleared the top part of the map.
Oh, I've been playing it. Like it's janky. There's been times where it's been super janky, but I'm still playing it. And we've talked about plenty of times on the podcast. We're really
I
loving
mean,
Cyberpunk. So
I've
Cyberpunk.
actually I've actually started recording clips of the jank so I can
Yep.
make a compilation for YouTube
Oh gosh.
of what my experience was. I've had
Yeah.
some very weird things happen. Um,
I've had some crazy moments as well. It gets confusing, especially when you're sprinting along somewhere. You're like, oh, I gotta go through this tunnel, but then you're not sure if it looks like a tunnel because it hasn't rendered properly. You're like, am I gonna run into this wall? And you're like, oh, I've run straight through the wall, platform 9 3/4. Ah! And you just keep going.
I haven't had that. Jesus.
Oh, there's some stuff. I saw one where it's like, oh look, there's a stairwell. I'm gonna run up the stairwell, but it was a falsely extended rendered stairwell. So I'm like, oh, I'm just going straight through it because it's a tunnel, and I'm like, okay, there's not a wall there, and I just kept going.
God dang.
It's so
It's
yeah.
it's not optimized really, is it? It's
Well,
just
it's the
there.
loading areas because everything's loaded in chunks, and if you do things too fast, it's not loading those chunks before you get to it. So then you have
My
all that stuff.
chunks are 2 meters in front of me. I'm getting popping right next to my damn
Yeah.
character.
Well,
Like,
characters just fade in and out half the time now too. Like
yeah,
you
but
would just see a
mine's
character
a
walk down the street and just
rock,
walk without a meter.
grass, trees, like everything. Like,
Yeah.
rubbish could be just in front of me and go pop.
Appear and
I'm like,
disappear.
that's not very optimized, my dudes.
Well, I had a moment where my game crashed when I was saving. It launched back up where I was, but
Ooh, that's risky.
yeah, it was
That's
really
crap
risky.
data right there if you're not careful.
Exactly. But then when I loaded back in, the character that I'd talked to when they were leaving the end of the mission as like an idol, they're in battle formation, like action formation. They had their gun out. And they're like walking to the, like like it's like why are they in action formation though? Like they were just in normal formation when the mission was done. They were walking to where they had to, and they walk off kind of thing. But they were like
Oh yeah.
they were like somehow been spawned in when it loaded back up as action formation. So they had the gun out all like, and they're walking really slowly, and they're just like walking down the street like, and it's like okay, bye, and they just kept going and going and going. And
Did
then
you record it though?
oh no, I didn't record it. I was just like I just want to save
Oh,
the game.
you need to record stuff. Like
Oh,
I've literally paused the game just to record shit. Like just
well,
went
there's weird
shit.
moments like people getting in the car and then they don't just get in the seat, they're like halfway up. So like levitating in the
Oh,
seat, or there's times where they get into their car and they go to drive off. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna jump my seat. Okay, start to drive, and the car does a 180 next, like out of nowhere, just flips, just bloop, and then drives back the other way. It's like, what? There's no turn. It's just bloop, nyeh. Or it's just like they're on the side of the road in the car next, but the car just appears out on the road, like just fades from one connection, and just pops up on the road.
yeah,
It's
that's weird.
like why does it drive? Like why does it just pop?
I've actually summoned two vehicles at once, and like I summoned the bike,
Oh,
and then the car, and then I summoned the beast, and it went poof on top,
yeah.
and then it just the bike exploded or something. Or just went
Oh, it's another
poof.
one I didn't record. Another one I didn't record was I called my car in, and I was like, "Where's my car?" I see it on the map, and I'm looking, and it's coming out of the sky.
Yeah,
It's like, "Nee," and then it just like comes out and goes, "Psh," and I'm like, "Oh," and it's like, okay, and then it just lands normally, and you get in your car. I was like, "What the fuck?" It's kind of funny
have
though.
you
Like,
had the car hovering? Like your car's coming, but
you
it's off
park
the
it.
ground, just hovering,
Yeah, I've had that.
and then it goes.
I've had it
I'm
where I've
like,
done a mission where I've left it, come out, come back to the car, and the car's just levitating, and then you get in the car, it's like, and then you just drive off.
yeah, it's. I don't know how all those bugs, like
Hit
how the
markers.
how the bosses at TDPR let that come out. Like that's
Oh,
ridiculous. It's nowhere near finished,
I
like
mean,
at all.
slight
Well, there was
spoilers.
a leak, which is not true, from a
Mm,
dude, from an angry developer. CDPR during the week said that is false.
yeah, I think
About
I.
it was going to take till June to be finished, and yeah, that's like 6 months away.
Oh, it's crazy stuff. Because we're supposed to be expecting the first big update sometime this month,
Well, that's
and
in the next couple of weeks, really, because it's already
we're in
just about
January,
halfway through January. Like
so it must be the end or something. So I'm expecting to
it
see what
must
that's
be.
gonna do
I don't reckon it'll be the end. Maybe in like, between the 20th
next week
and
or
the
so.
end, like
Yeah.
probably the third week, because that's when generally things are
Well,
done. Because we've seen we've grounded. It's usually on like the 25th, 27th,
Yeah. Well, I was
26th
gonna say,
even.
have you done all the stuff with Judy?
Mm-hmm.
You've done all
Mm-hmm.
the Judy stuff, so I don't want to get too deep into the spoilers. I don't want to get too deep, but you go back and you see Woodman, and you got to deal with Woodman with Judy. Did you? He's like the pimp kind of guy who runs the brothel, basically. Woodman.
Oh, I killed him.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. You kill him, but like when you first do that mission where you go through to collect the information from clouds, I decapitated him then.
Oh, is that in the office and you had that
Yeah,
shootout?
yeah, with Woodman then. I actually decapitated him at that point of the game.
But he was back next?
Yeah, then when I came back to another mission, he was alive. I'm like, I've decapitated this guy when we had a shootout and the thing. He shot at me and I ran in and I was like, and I was like, sliced his head off and I was like, okay, he's dead. And then
Now that
everyone's,
you think of that, I killed him the first in the office too.
yeah.
And then he was back in that maintenance area.
Yeah, and he was back still alive, and you're like, you gotta confront him, and then Judy wants to kill him and stuff, and I'm like, but I had already killed him. Can I have like say dialogue like, I've already done this, bitch, it's fine. Like we don't need to seek revenge. I already killed him by an accident because I wanted information. He shot at me, and I was like, fuck you, and I sliced his head off.
I think he killed me first.
Oh, I went in. I was like, he was there, and I was like trying to talk to him, and he's like, no, 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 and he's shooting through the window, and I kicked the door open, and he's shooting, and I'm dodging, and I went in with my samurai sword, like, oh, and I just dodged everything, just sliced him up. I was like, bitch. Maybe that's why he had the extra abilities. Maybe that's why he had the dodge.
Dale's from the Matrix. He can dodge bullets in fucking Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I can dodge so many friggin' bullets. It's not funny. There was a convoy attack we had to do. We had to stop a convoy for one mission, and I just like stuff using my gun, pulled out my sword, and I was just like, ah, slice, 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 slice. Run to the next one, slice, 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 slice. Run to the next one, grenade, knocked them all to the ground. They're all laying on the ground. I was like, slice, and just whacking them all while they're on the ground. Like, take that, take that. So I just use
That,
sword for everything.
that katana is so quick to hit. Like, it's so
Oh,
fucking quick.
so nice.
I was using a
Everyone's
baseball bat, and that's so slow,
oh,
but it's so
it's
powerful.
slugging though. If you get them right when you power up that hit and you hit them against the head and the head pops, it's such a good feeling. It's just and it just explodes. It's like
I
ah,
did that, and this white blood comes flying out of
oh
someone.
yeah,
I'm
the
like,
goop. They're like the oil or something. It's like a
it's
fluid
like
liquid thing.
a, is it
It's
like
weird.
a coolant? I think
Yeah,
like it's like
cause oh, it's
a
really
white
weird to think
coolant.
about it. Cause some people are more robot than human. It's just like
Mm.
what?
Which makes me feel less guilty about it.
Yeah, it's just weird though to think how far these people have been augmented to be
I
like go
mean,
from being human to become machine. I'm like, okay.
I don't feel guilty about killing people in there. It's fun.
Oh, the amount of people that have their like half like mechanical jaws and stuff like that. It's like, what the fuck? So
I
disturbing to think like,
trust that, but I've seen these muscle build like these bloody bodybuilders with like metal chains around their arms and
yeah.
biceps.
Oh.
It's like you're a monster. I, like this
Yeah.
thing's massive. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, like they're no longer human. Like, okay.
I mean, they are, but they're just heavily modified.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Again, we're talking about Cyberpunk because we love it.
I I haven't played any other game but Cyberpunk
That's all
and
I've been
Rocket League,
bitching.
and that's
That's
pretty much it.
I might even play some Rocket League after this, or maybe more Cyberpunk.
I think maybe some Rocket League would be nice.
Yeah.
Change up a little bit. Um,
But going back into the news, getting away from Cyberpunk again, because like as always, we could always talk Cyberpunk.
one of
We
my
do nearly
things with
every episode. If
Cyberpunk
you look
is
at majority of the episodes, where you look at the description, I just tag. I'm just like, and again, we're discussing Cyberpunk and Cyberpunk this, Cyberpunk that. The amount of times, like, I need to like do two of that plug away so we don't mention it. Maybe this episode I won't mention Cyberpunk, and then they'll just get this whole 10-minute segment where we talk about Cyberpunk.
I mean, it's just inevitable because
it's definitely worth
it's
it.
always going to get updated. It's always going to have some wacky moments.
I'm
It's
like,
going to have. I've had. This isn't a spoiler by any means, but you know
yeah,
those little triangles.
yeah.
I had one, and his name was Burning Crutch Man. He had an implant in his crutch area, and he's running around going, "Oh!" and I had to take him to a Ripper doc, and he sent me like 20 grand for doing it.
You got like STDs or something hacked into it, like a digital.
No, it malfunctioned on him.
He
And
had
he's like, "What
erectile
happened?"
dysfunction.
I had to drive him from that spot to a Ripper doc, and he complained the whole way. He's like, burns, ah. I'm like, wow. And then he just
Oh,
waddled up to the Ripper doc.
that's
He's
great.
like, oh, he's like, I'll message you your money later. He's like, then V's like, but you don't even know, and he's just gone. I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
this game is fucking great. The amount of detail they've put in for like side missions, gigs, nothing's the same twice. Like it's insane. Like they haven't repeated anything
Hmm.
apart from the cyber psychos. Just gotta kill a dude.
That's about it.
But um, I've only got 4 of them left. I think
You get through them.
I'll kill them with my baseball bat.
Slug them open. Ding.
I've actually got a trick. I system shock them first, so they
Mhm.
can't do anything but just stand there, and then they just bam, 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 bam. They get in like 7, 8 hits.
That's not too bad. Oh, my screen's going dark again. Okay, so going on to some news. We were going before we got so distracted with Cyberpunk. I mean, it's not bad. I just wanted to scrape over some things. So these seem to, I guess, be something related to COVID in a way. So basically, like I was saying before, pandemic is causing problems, especially for the gaming industry. So for one thing that's being affected strongly is because it revolved around primarily being outside and doing stuff outside and being proactive, which you kind of can't really do during these situations. Um,
Right?
I guess it's Mojang or Microsoft or whatever have decided to end
Mojang.
service to Minecraft Earth, and they'll be shutting down the
End them.
servers. Yeah, so Minecraft Earth, which is the AR mobile game, kind of like Pokemon
I
Go, stuff like that.
no idea what that was. To be fair,
It's very limited. They didn't really promote it much, I don't think. Anyway, it's very obscure. But it's they're shutting down the servers on the 30th of June. So yeah, the
that's
end of
not
this.
too bad, I guess. Like if you want to get the last bit of run in, you can do it.
Mm,
At least it's not just here it is the next day gone.
well, they're dropping the last big final patch the end of this month, and then they're just like,
Dropping a patch and then cutting it off. Like
yeah,
why?
like the final big last bit of content. They're wrapping it up, and then it's gonna die in like 6 months, 5 months technically.
5 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
I
like,
don't
what a
know.
way for a game to last. It's only lived for like maybe 2 years.
I guess people weren't really on it as much as they thought they would be.
Well, apparently there was. It's just their big market being that it's meant to be outside. It's like if people are gonna be indoors, they're just gonna play Minecraft. Like, why would they play Earth? So, it's kind of
Or,
disappointing.
or why go outside if you got RTX Minecraft?
Exactly. So that's gone down
That
the
looks
drain.
dope.
So, what else was there? So, a new thing's popped up for gamers. I thought this was an interesting read out of all things. I was like, there was an article, but I've got the title from it. So there's this new product called XPG Mana Gaming Gum. It's chewable caffeine.
Uh,
what what are we getting to? Like I feel like it's like those novelty things like you see in like those
add
novelty
that to my
future, like
game.
in Cyberpunk and stuff like that, alone where you got these ridiculous ads. Where it's like, or like the vending machines have these ridiculous things like, here's have the buffalo burritos, eat this thing, gives you all these perks. Like I feel like we're getting that age where we're just like, you can buy these things and have all these cool funky things, and this will give you a stamina boost, and this will give you some power up. But it's just like, what the fuck do we need this for?
Right?
Like,
So
oh,
bad.
it's so
Who
stupid.
needs chewable caffeine though? Like
I don't.
it's just kids can get that and just chew caffeine all day and go straight
Well,
freaking hyper.
that kind of made me laugh. So related to that the other day, where I went to 7-Eleven and I bought myself a Slurpee, and
Yeah.
this guy had walked in with his kids and were like, "Hey Billy, what drink flavors do you want?" And he's like, "I want that one, and I want that one, and I want." And he's like, "Okay," so he poured them all in. One of them legit says straight on the tag contains guarana. And
Really?
I'm like, okay, you're just gonna casually put guarana in your Slurpee juice now, like just sell it with high doses of caffeine. But well, I don't know how high the caffeine dose
I mean,
is,
is it
but it's like,
caffeine? Is it? Is guarana caffeine?
yeah, guarana is caffeine. Oh, it's a fruit form of caffeine. I don't know. It's a
So it's not as bad, but it's still caffeine.
well, they put
Like,
guarana in energy drinks, so I assume if it's in energy drinks, it's not the best.
I just spilt
Um,
my water.
but yeah, but he was just like, I'm gonna give this to you, and he just like puts it in the drink. Like it's like, here you go, kid. Have your Slurpee with some guarana in there as well. I'm like, first it's loaded with sugar, and then you're giving the kid caffeine. This kid's gonna be bouncing off the wall like freaking Spider-Man. Like,
I've got my Slurpee bottle.
you get your Slurpee bottle. I don't even know what happened to mine. I got a couple of those old
I've had
ones.
that since I was in Queensland.
Oh
I
really? That's
fucking
very
love
like
it. I
that's a
freaking love
while.
it. They're like the best drink bottle. Like they're so good.
They got the new one now, which I think are the steel ones. I think at the moment, not too bad, but they're like
I might send you some dollary dues. Send
dollar
one
dues.
over.
Yeah, they're not
I
too
love
bad.
the Slurpee bottles. Like they're so. They may cost $1 or $2, but they're so durable. Like
Mm.
they don't break.
These ones, because the bottles were like $8. I was like, oh.
Right? Like I think that was 6. I think
Those ones
back
were
in
cheaper, but
the day.
because these ones are metal, that's why they cost a little
Yeah,
bit more. So I'm like, ooh, but I don't know. But yeah, I was like,
yeah.
okay, chuck caffeine and everything. It's not really needed, but
Caffeine is needed. I just don't drink it unless it's in tea.
um, what's another thing here? So this was from I saw this article on a headline from PC Mag, and I was like, okay, that's interesting.
The
It's
hell is
kind of
PC?
like I've no idea. So I was just like, I'll put that in there as a little quip. And I'm like, it's a weird headline. So basically, the headline was, so I want you to this wrap your head around this like this headline as well. So the headline was, stats have shown growing numbers that 1 in 5 gamers bought their first consoles during a pandemic.
Excuse me. That just brought up some indigestion.
So
That's
like,
that's a
what?
statement.
So 1 in 5 gamers bought their first console. So was that mean they were a gamer before they got their console, or was it
Yeah,
after? Like that's what's got me. I'm like,
but they could have went from a Switch, which isn't basically a console; it's a handheld,
that's what. Well, I didn't fully read the article. That's what I was confused about. Like I didn't read
or had a
fully
Game
read the
Boy, or
article.
had
Like were they a
a
PC or something? Like, but it's like 1 in 5 gamers bought their first console. I'm like, that's still a fair amount of number. Like, there's a lot of consoles already in the world. Like to buy their first console, like
right. It's so
and unless they're stating like are they counting in numbers like little Timmy over here got his last console from his dad. And this time he saved up money and he's bought his first console now and he's gotten like a new one. Like, are they taking things like that into consideration? Like, what? I didn't look at the numbers specifically, but like I was like, this is weird kind of headline. Like 1 in 5, 1 in 5
that's
gamers.
pretty high. Like 1 in 5 is pretty fucking high.
That's a lot of people. Like, how many gamers are in the world? Like, how many? Like,
There's tens of millions, but
it's like
one in
one in.
five. That's
Is it?
say
Because it.
just say you got
Oh,
like a million. That's what 1,000. Yeah, like a
two,
thousand people.
2,000,
1,000. One
two
out of
hundred thousand.
five.
So 1 of 5. So
Oh,
say,
that's
say if there's so if there's a so 100 million would be no. So if there's a million, so it'd be 200,000. So say if yeah, say if there was yeah,
I don't know.
that's weird.
Just
I
whatever
can't
it
even
is.
think. I can't
I
even think.
don't believe that for a second.
It's weird stats. That's why I'm like I don't even know. But I just saw the headline and I wanted to mention that to you and see what you would think about that freaking headline. I'm like I'm just more of the fact like is someone a gamer before they game like. Is it just saying like it's just right like 1 in 5 people's bought their first console. It's 1 in 5 gamers. It's like okay.
That's what I don't get. Why put 1 in 5 gamers bought their first? Like, hey, no, they're a gamer. Like, they could have bought it for someone else. And if they're if they haven't played before, they're not technically a gamer.
Exactly. That's what I'm like.
Like,
Okay, this is confusing.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
That's why I was like, I need to chuck this in here just to like boggle the minds because it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I'm fucking stumped on that. I'll be thinking about that for ages now.
It's like,
Thanks, Daz.
what? 1 in 5 farmers bought their first farm during the pandemic. it's like he's already a farmer. Wouldn't he already have a farm? And he's not doing much during a pandemic. I'm surprised he's got money. I mean, at the moment they would all the selling that they're doing,
You could technically be a farmer without owning a farm, though.
depending on what you're farming.
I was a farmer. I was doing picking potatoes and
Well, true.
onion. I was a farmer technically. I didn't own a farm. I could have during the pandemic.
Ah,
Could have bought my first farm during the
wow.
pandemic, and be that one in five.
Weird phantom
Uh,
pain. Oh, what's
hey,
oh, what a weird pain along my gums, like a phantom pain. Weird.
no, no beardies and beardettes. He's not picking his nose there.
No,
Hey, what?
it's my teeth. I'm like, oh.
It looked like he was picking your nose with your finger. But while you do that, this is the last cyberpunk thing for the episode. But I saw in GTA 5, there's a mod you can turn Los Santos into Night City.
That's not too bad.
I haven't seen it though. Like I didn't want to look because if they've copied and pasted Night City to Los Santos, that's weird.
Maybe shrunk down.
Yeah, it would
Because
a lot.
I feel like Night City's a lot bigger than GTA.
Oh, I don't think
Oh,
because
you
you can
reckon?
drive around Night City pretty quick,
Mm.
but Los Santos, when you go out to the desert, that goes on forever.
Yeah.
Like go from the city to the desert is like this massive freaking highway across the whole side of the map. But like, I mean, if you want to check it out, oh no, that's not the only one. There's the second Cyberpunk, which if you have it on PC, there's a mod where you can play in third person,
Oh,
which
same.
your legs aren't connected to your top half, and it looks janky as fuck, but also funny as fuck.
The thing when
Like
the
I've
head
seen
stays
the
still,
suit,
their arms like this. It's like, but the head's like,
like when they're walking, the head's still and the arms are like,
so it's like,
and then when they go to shoot, like the camera goes to the side, and they're like this.
yeah,
Like,
the hands are way over here and the head's in a weird spot.
but hey, someone's making it. Like they are going to improve it over time.
Maybe that's why the game
Like
was
for what
first
they've
person. Maybe
done.
that's why they couldn't make the game in third person. Maybe they had this weird glitch where they couldn't fix.
But the thing is, did you see the aiming though? There's no reticle when you aim, so you pretty much got to guess where the person is going to hit.
I'm surprised like how way off the game goes when it's in third person. When you look at how they shoot in first person, it seems fine. But like for some reason when they're third person, the whole thing just janks out and breaks. It's like it doesn't even look like it's going that way. Like it's so weird.
That's because I think the modder actually made his own thing for it.
Mm,
Like the things made by him, like whoever made the mod or them or
yeah.
it was multiple people. But for what they've got though, it is pretty solid. It's just a few janky bits, like the legs and the arms and the aiming and the
Ugh.
shooting, and that's pretty much it. I don't know about the driving. I didn't see that, but hey, you can do the third person in Lost Night City Santos.
Lost Night City.
The Lost Night City Santos. It'd be pretty fun.
Wouldn't be too bad.
I mean, they could patch up like Rockstar did with GTA, like went from third to first. They
Mm.
could probably do a first to third option, like maybe.
Be interesting to see how that play.
And then whoever modded that will do that for nothing. They're like, we fixed our mod. The CDPR's like, wink, third third person. It's like, sons of bitches,
uh,
all them hours.
all that burnt time, all gone.
I mean, it does look pretty funny though.
Yeah. Oh,
But
what else? You got some other stuff?
it kind of fits the game. I'm not gonna lie there. Um, I spoke to you about this earlier, Des, about that Danish kid show,
Oh.
which is called John Dillermand, which is John penis or something. It's a word from the Denmark or something. I don't
It
know what
translates
frick
to
it is.
penis man or
It's
something.
John Penis or something. I don't know. John Penis Man, I think. John Penis Man. That's a Diddler Yeah. But it's a kid show where he's got a very long, flexible penis, and it uses it as like a helicopter or a pogo stick. It's it's weird. It's in claymation, so it even makes it even more weird. Like it's a kid show.
I might find a picture of that and put it up.
Oh, don't! It looks so.
Just smack a picture of it up there.
He's got it holding balloons beside him, like going up like that. Like I apparently he can like make it long, short. Like it's fucking weird.
Uh, go
I
go
don't
gadget, extend the penis. Ah!
exactly. That's what it's like.
Mr.
Except
Fantastic. Oh, Mr. Fantastic.
he was flying with it.
Swinging his
Like
penis around.
it's taken. But I don't know how it's a kid show though. Like unless they're not addressing it as that, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
um, but I mean, keep an eye out for it. It is getting an English translation, so we could get it at some point.
Could do.
Maybe. I just I, I forgot all about it till I read my notes. Also, what interests you, Daz,
Mm.
the medium, and it's what is it? Locked camera. Like it's got a
Mm.
fixed camera, which might be your go-to because you like Silent Hill and
Yeah, I
Res.
know it's being. I don't know how it'd go, being that I haven't played things like in that style for so long.
Did you
Going
play the
back to that.
Resi One remake thing?
No, I didn't do the remake.
Oh, because that's the same thing. They didn't do it like two or three, which would have been sick if they did it like that,
More free camera and something different.
like the mansion in like oh
That would have been good. Like proper third person running around.
with the dogs and oh.
Missed opportunities for some games.
I mean, it suited two. I did like two,
Mm.
but yeah, I can't play the first one. I'll get so lost because it's so janky. Yeah, but the
That could be
medium
interesting.
got a 14-minute gameplay trailer. You could say like it's 40 minutes of gameplay.
Yep.
They show the split worlds, like her entering the. I don't know what the other world is, like the underworld or something.
Yep.
But it shows both at the same time, like the normal world's above, the underworld things below,
Mhm.
and it shows what she's doing in both. Like they're both synced up pretty much spot on of what
Hmm.
she's doing in both worlds.
Interesting.
And I'm not going to say anything about it because I want you to watch it.
Mm.
But it's interesting. It's made by a Blooper team who made Laser Fear, other things. That's all I remember. Laser Fear
Mm. That's not much.
and other things. Um, but 14 minutes. It's on IGN's channel. Um, it's worth a look. I mean, I'm not interested in it now. It's got the fixed camera. I was keen to
Yeah.
play it, but I mean, it could work. It could work,
I'm kind of on the
but
fence either way still with it.
I'll watch the gameplay, and it feels like it's a game from the 90s or early 2000s.
Yeah, there's a lot of that
It
lately.
just looks modern, but it looks like it plays like them, like it that walk and Django. It's just
Mm.
turn, walk. They had a good idea, but who knows? It comes out this month, isn't it?
I can't remember. I know
Or
there's a
next
bunch of
month?
games. I know there's a bunch of games at the start of this year.
I know I've got to mention one a bit later, which is a big one that you probably play as well, Des.
Mm.
But you might want to get that Microsoft Flight Sim on your PC now
Yeah.
because Star Wars mods have officially arrived on it. You could fly some vehicles. I'm not sure what ones. I didn't
Yes.
really look at it, but I saw them, and you got the Tie Fighter. I know my Star Trek.
Oh my god.
Darth Vader's the best Star Trek character.
Well, I mean, I had a little bit of news here, another bit of news. I don't know if you had it. I assume you usually do, but I got Techland confirms Dying Light 2 lead writer has left, but says exciting news is coming.
I guess the game's finished. He left. They're gonna publish it. They're gonna send it out, and he's gonna sit back and go, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, it's interesting.
and smoke a cigar and say, "Money, money, money."
Money. So yeah, so that's
Yeah,
interesting.
money.
I saw that and I was like, oh, we've mentioned a few things like that in the past with a few people leaving here and leaving there and
Delayed,
leaving all over.
right?
Yeah,
What about DLC? That hasn't been written yet, and if the lead writer's gone, it could change. Like the whole story could be different of the DLC and shit. Like,
that's exactly it. Who knows what's going to happen?
because the DLC for the first one was so good.
Mm,
I guess that was that writer. Could have been someone else. I'm not sure.
could have been. I'm not even too sure.
Because this has changed development that many times.
Yeah.
It went through a fair few different development teams. Oh,
You got more newty news?
oh hell yeah!
How much more?
This one's for you, Daz. But
Me.
Green Arrow is in Fortnite now.
Oh yeah, I already got him.
Yeah, I
He
thought that was
came out.
interesting.
Yeah, he came out at the start of the month. So basically, there was a bit of an issue as well with that. Be a good thing to mention up. So
An issue.
it glitched out for me. So because it's part of the subscriptions, their new subscription based service that they charge. I mean, they still tried taking the money out, but it didn't work because I didn't have money in there. But like,
Yeah.
they gave me the skin, but they didn't give me my V Bucks. They're like, oh, we tried taking the money out, but it didn't work. But here's the skin, but there's no V Bucks until you rectify the issue. And then it's like, okay. And then I did that. It took them a while, like a couple of days till I got my V Bucks after I topped it. I sorted out the issue. But there was also an issue that popped up in the corner that they'd noticed on the news going, people that had subscriptions to the new pass, we are aware that people aren't receiving their V-Bucks. And I'm like, is that because there's a bug issue, or is it because there's other people that were like in my situation that didn't renew their subscription and were like, why am I not getting my V-Bucks? Because they hadn't renewed their subscription and hadn't detected that they hadn't renewed it. So therefore, they were receiving one part, but not the other half. So I think there might have been a lot of shonky issues.
You could be onto something there.
Yeah, so if you're smart, maybe if you do things, maybe there might be a way where you could get a skin and cancel your subscription and not have to pay but get a skin. I don't know. That sounds very technical, but
Right?
I reckon that because
I mean,
it feels like that sometimes.
at least you know for next time. Check your subscription before.
Make sure you paid it. But yeah, and I was like, it's pretty good. So
yeah. Oh no, I'll probably play Fortnite when it's Fortnite 2 or something.
does what Rocket League? Oh no, wasn't no, it's not what Fortnite. Well, I don't know. Does like
Hey,
what?
look,
I don't know what I'm trying to compare it to now.
I mean, Rocket League really won't have a second game because this can go on forever.
It's
the
just
way
the one thing. Well, that's what Fortnite's trying to do. Is just stay the one game.
Um. Also, Des, we're going to play Fall Guys
Yep.
because a couple of costumes recently got added, which are interesting.
Mm.
They're the Doom guy and just a Doom collection set skins.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I saw
Should
the
we
Doom
get
guy,
Fall
but
Guys on PC?
ooh, we can do custom lobbies and
Yes.
play with peeps.
Yes. We could host a
I think
Beardy
James would got
Bros.
it.
We could host a Beardy Bros.
Yeah, Beardy Bros.
Game
Whoever
night.
wins gets to take Beardy Bros with them.
Beardy Bros game night.
Right? You know that if that's a thing, that could take off pretty damn quick.
If you like
But
it,
then
and
we're
you
gonna
want to play with us.
have to cut people
Oh.
out because there'd be so too many people.
Oh.
Okay. If you're in this batch one night, this batch another night, this batch night, and so on. But
Or if you get knocked out,
damn,
you're out. Next person in. You die. You're out of the lobby. Next person in.
that's gonna be so sweaty. Everyone's fighting
we
constantly.
get kicked out. Oh crap! We can't be our next round. All right, Beardy Bros lobby held without us. Go straight for it.
I mean, that's a thing. People do that.
People do
If they
do that.
get knocked out, they just watch and cheer on other people.
Uh, but no, that's
Could
something
be
we could do.
interesting.
Mm.
But this is the big one, man. Hitman 3, as which you're probably interested in.
Mhm.
It got a sandbox VR trailer
I heard
today.
something about that. I saw
Okay.
something that said Hitman 3 news or something, but I didn't actually look into it. But that sounds cool.
Um, they give you like a 2 or 3 minute. It shows VR gameplay,
Mm.
which is it's pretty much the most immersive game other than Half Life Alex.
Yep.
Like you can do whatever you want in that Hitman, and it's all three games. You get the actual trilogy.
Oh, that's
You can play
interesting.
the trilogy in VR.
That is
Only
different.
PSVR though,
Yep.
not on PC. I don't think I didn't say that.
That's different.
Um, but
Oh.
this, I wrote down a few things I took from it. Um, you can blind fire around corners, like just put your gun around and. Um, you can actually pick up and read a newspaper. Because you're just sitting there, like you're sitting there, you've got a newspaper up, you actually read it. Um, you can hold someone over a ledge and just drop them off. Like you can pick someone up over a canyon and just, and they go. Um, this is one that I thought was cool. You can walk up to someone, get your hand and tap on the shoulder. They'll turn around and then you just give them a big sock right in the jaw, which is
Big
pretty damn cool.
suck right in the jaw. I don't know if that's had
Like,
an
he
issue.
literally tapped him on the shoulder and he looked around and he went behind him and just hello, just socked him one.
Okay, so I don't know if that's oh god. Oh, I don't know if there's any technical.
Um,
There might be some technical difficulties. At least I've got the audio. I can try and figure that out. I'm using
well,
OBS, and it
whatever.
may have had some technical. Technical. We've had some
Some
technical,
technical
some
difficulties.
very technical difficulties. So at least we've got the audio, which this is what I had a feeling that may happen if anything bugs out. Um, I've got audio here from the anchor that I can try and back up and use, but so let's see how we know. Let's see how we know. Oh god, we know nothing.
I think Dale's
It's
got
a breath of
technical
fresh air.
difficulties now. I think Dale's computer broke now. He's broken. He's part of the Matrix.
It's part of the Matrix. Oh
Um,
god,
I got one last thing, which is Trump got permanently banned on Twitter
he got banned.
because, and their reason was to stop him like from like escalating the violence any further
Yeah, with his
because
stupid
his
comments.
tweets just keep fueling the fire,
He
which
has
is
so
not
many
good.
stupid comments.
He's just I don't know how to put it. Like he's worse than
Well, I
like
mean, I was gonna say related to that, we already know what happened with this. Everyone should know by now, or would know by now, the whole PogChamp thing that's going on there, where he's been now removed
yeah.
from Twitch, from certain things that have been said.
Shit.
But what they're doing now, they've now taken down that emote, the PogChamp emote. I don't know if you've noticed, but for every 24 hours, they're uploading a new PogChamp emote.
So there's a new one every 24 hours.
Yeah, they're rotating it and having a new emote every
I
24
should just
hours.
do what everyone's saying and just get everyone to submit their own PogChamp
Mm.
face, and they have it like
Well,
it
yeah.
randomly comes up. Like you just get a random one whenever you press it.
And that'd be
Like
pretty
that
cool. Like
makes
randomly, every time you used it, it would be like a different face every time. Never be the same.
yeah, like that's what it needs to be. Like because you can have like when people spam PogChamp like in a row, you can
It
have
could
so
be.
many different people. Like it'd be so cool.
Mm. So who knows how
But
it works?
it might be a hard work to do that, because there's no doubt they get probably tens of thousands, even million people just submit a pic of their PogChamp face.
Yes, there's a lot.
Because I
Uh,
would definitely do it.
you do it.
Oh yeah. Maybe. I don't know about PogChamp. I didn't really use it, to be fair. I would just say poggers in the chat.
Pluggers.
Fucking poggers. Um, but yeah, that's all I've got for this. I mean, a few juicy bits in there. I am keen to check out the Star Wars mods for
Oh,
Flight Sim
big Friday face.
because however they did that will be interesting. If they've still got the same, if they've still got the same,
Um,
dimensions as the plane if it's like a smaller vehicle.
Yeah.
Because if they've got rid of the whole model and put their own model, that is sick.
Well, I think that's what they're doing with a lot of that stuff. From what I've seen previously, is that they're replacing full vehicles, sound, and everything. So
Ooh. Man,
pretty good.
it's a big game to download. It's like 100 gig or so.
It'd be. I don't even know how my computer will go running it. I mean, it should, but it'd be ballsy because of how rendering and powerful that game sounds to be. Like, oh,
I mean, it's. I mean, you can find your house.
fly by, maybe crash into it.
That's what Jacksepticeye did. Remember, he flew the plane into his thing, and then his camera was like,
Oh
and then he went missing for a few days.
gosh. Wakes up in the
Didn't you
forest.
actually see that?
No, I started watching that episode, but I didn't actually get that far into it.
Yeah, he's like, oh
I had a,
look,
I had
look,
a
that's
feeling that's
by
what was
my
going to
house.
happen. I had a feeling that
I'm
that was what was going
flying
to
in and
happen.
just boom.
He was talking about it, and he goes, "Oh, it's not like his exact." Because he goes, "It wasn't exact his exact house, but it was a different house that he'd been at before." And he talked about it and all that stuff. And
It was his old house, I think, wasn't it?
yeah, because he didn't want to doss himself. So
And then he just like flew it in. His camera's like just exploded, and then he's gone for like a few days, and he
I
came
mean,
back.
it's
He's
a
like,
genius idea. That's a genius idea. Like that's what I would do for the content. I'd do something like that. So
yeah. I mean, to
um,
find your house depends how old the map they used is, like the satellite.
it's all like Earth footage. So yeah, they can be
I mean,
pretty
it'd
frequent.
be pretty recent, wouldn't it? Really,
Can be, yeah.
because it's always getting updated. So,
Mhm.
oh, they just recently added snowy areas as well.
Something like
Snowy areas, Star Wars. You know what that reminds me of?
that.
Yeah.
Also, well,
When he
before
goes there and
where are
defeats
we at
Spock.
now? We're at over an hour. It's not too bad. We're going pretty good. So I thought before we get close to wrapping it up, we're getting close to there to the end. I don't want to be too long. This has definitely had technical issues. It looks like it's lost audio altogether on the video. So the video's recording still, but there's no audio coming through, and it's got like this big franny face over the audio bars. It's like, "Woo."
You
So I
might have
think,
to patch in this, like cut this in
yeah,
there, and
I don't know what I'll cut in or if I'll cut the audio over. At least I've got. This is why I want a backup of audio anyway. So at least there's a backup.
yeah,
So this goes up on you guys as always, but then this is gonna be a weird change of audio on the YouTube. I think it'd be like one set of audio, then cuts, and it's like a new piece of audio.
we apologize. You might have to put a disclaimer at the start of the video and
This
just
audio
say
is not 100%.
audio cuts from like the whenever it did.
Yeah,
Find where it cut and just say audio changes from here to the end. Or
yeah, that's definitely something I have to do. But
I mean, that's the problem with live. Like this happens.
like, well, that's it. Being live, doing a podcast, like even if we were actually to like live stream a podcast, even which we could do sometime. Like we could have a point where it bugs out while we're streaming halfway through, and it's like it just drops out. Like anything could go wrong. So
That's the problem with live. I mean, it's not a problem, but it's. I prefer live over pre-recorded
hmm.
because at least then you're getting us
Well, even
at
then,
our.
like you still get this raw. Everyone still gets this raw. So
It's kind of our best because then we're not reusing jokes or
sometimes we do
trying
without
to
even
be,
realizing.
trying to be funny. Like because we've already done it once. If we did it again, it wouldn't be funny. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it works.
Um,
At least it worked initially.
it worked for
Unless
like the first like 50 minutes, 50 something minutes. The audio worked for until it crashed out. So I
well,
think
that's
the
not
screen.
too
I think
bad.
the app went a bit idle. I think that's the problem. If the app goes idle for a certain amount of time, it bugs out. So I think I got to keep it active.
Yeah, it's OBS, so it should just keep going.
It does record, but then I think the audio breaks out. It's just
How did it break?
it's something I've got to learn to figure out what works and what doesn't. So.
Yeah,
So at the same time, I think I've got to like fix stuff and mash things, and it's going to be janky, but we'll sort it
mash it like potatoes.
But no, I made but before we like I said before we go, I compiled some lists. I got crap in my mouth. It's a bit of hair.
Lift.
Got a bit of hair on my mouth while I'm talking. So I compiled some lists. So if you are stuck in a pandemic, which I think we all are stuck in a pandemic. It's not if you may be stuck in a
Yeah,
pandemic. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if you're on a
Uh,
secluded island away from a pandemic, you're perfectly fine. But you might not be listening to the podcast. But if you are,
I mean, maybe
um,
if
but no.
they've
So
got a mobile.
if you've got the pandemic blues, or if you're over being in lockdown or quarantine or isolation, you want the time to fly by a little bit. So I compiled two lists here. So I've got lists for some games that are good time wasters or time consumers,
I
and
wouldn't
some
say wasters, but you'll have
consume.
fun doing these things.
Yeah, something to enjoy that can really like take up a lot of your time. So if you're not someone that wants to do some aerobics while you're in your house or doing some painting or writing a book or being like me and Jim that every now and then for an hour or so to 2 hours nearly that we do a podcast uh, when we're not
So
streaming,
quick.
crazy.
Oh, week goes quick. This goes quick. Like it's the next week already is like, oof.
It's insane. But no, so the first list I've got is some games that are so I called it best games to kill the pandemic blues. So I mean, top of that list I've got with just straight to the mind was Cyberpunk 2077. As much as me and Jim have played it, we've played a lot of time in that game. We've
I
spent
think I've got like 70 hours in right now.
yeah, we've spent so much time playing that. It's like takes up so much of your time. You just play it and just keep playing and playing and playing. You're like, oh look, it's like dinner time, and I've only felt like I only woke up like 2 hours ago, and the whole
I
day's
mean,
gone.
I haven't done a main mission in a day.
Yeah, just all the side stuff. There's so much side stuff.
Like I showed you my picture. I've only got a select few that I haven't done.
There's so much to do. It's
But
crazy.
I'm keen to see your list though. Well, not see it, but
Yeah.
hear your list. Because he actually got some input from myself. I'm like, uh, this.
Um. So what else? So we'll go through the list. So I've got So from Cyberpunk we've got AC Valhalla. That's apparently a big game to play. I haven't even had a chance to play that because I've just been absorbed with Cyberpunk. But a lot
Oh
of people
no.
have spent hours and hours and keep playing and keep going. So these are a lot
That's
of games that have a lot of time to consume. So
well, Valhalla is another 100 hour plus game.
yes, so if
It's
if you're not into that cyber futuristic kind of genre and you want to go something old school, then play Valhalla. Uh, I always think this is funny that they released this other one's kind of released when they're all released around the same time. They're kind of the same game in the feel. Like you've got Watchdog Legions, which is kind of like
oh,
you've got. I mean, you played the shit out of the game, but I'm like, I feel like Cyberpunk is janky and it's bugged, but I feel like you got Cyberpunk, or you could buy Cyberpunk from Wish, and it's just like they're so similar of games. It's like not funny. It's like I want
except
Cyberpunk. We got Cyberpunk at home. No, it's not. It's Watch Dogs.
except I got no bugs in Watch Dogs.
No, it's perfectly clean. But
Yeah,
if you were to have a
which is
glimpse, you could
I
feel
think
like
so.
you could get confused.
I mean, not really. It's not really cyberpunky. It's just future. It's just
Futuristic-y,
hacking. Like
a lot of
the
stuff.
hacking is better in Watch Dogs than it is in Cyberpunk. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. What else have we
I
got?
mean, you've got more options in Cyberpunk, but it feels snappier on Watch Dogs.
Yeah. Well, they've
It's
improved
like
over time.
quickly.
They've got to improve where they're going from like Cyberpunk's going from what they did with Witcher to then now being what they've got now is like Geralt didn't have
Not
any.
Witcher 2.0, but
Geralt.
imagine if Garrett had hacking abilities.
but
I'm gonna hack that horse.
yeah, so
Gonna hack that chicken.
so yeah, so basically these are games that will take up a lot of time. Also got Dark Souls. I thought would be a game to chuck on the list if you wanna.
You won't play that for long.
Well, I mean in general, just any of them. If you
Or
want,
you can come back to it after Cyberpunk Watch Dogs and just keep switching
I mean,
between them.
I'm not gonna make sure to play it, but it's just like I thought that'd be a game to chuck on the list. It's like a big game that will really take up a lot of your time. Well, it's got a few hours in there. You know, that's not just
I
like, oh,
mean,
here's 9 hours spent. Like you're gonna spend a few hours.
you rage a bit. That's the charm of it.
You come back, you play a bit
It's
more, you leave, come back,
it's
play a bit
not
more.
it's not um it's not designed to make you angry, but you do get angry.
Mm,
Like it's meant to be challenged. Like it it's hard, but it's not stupidly hard, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
Like it is fair. Like there's no doubt. Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Demon Souls is
that's it.
fair.
Yeah.
You've just got to figure out that for yourself. It's
Mm,
trial and error. What works, what doesn't. You got to do this there, that there. Like
that's
so
it.
much to remember, and it's on the fly. You have a brain fart, you're dead.
Yeah. Well,
And then you,
I was gonna say even Demon Souls as well. Like if you've got yourself a PS5,
uh,
lucky enough to
I haven't played that for weeks now.
play that. You know, it's these are games that will pass you by. You sit there if you get yourself absorbed. I mean, like I said, we're absorbed in Cyberpunk. We're like, oh, the day's gone. So everyone has their own kryptonite. So
Oh, Days Gone. That's another good one.
Days gone. Yep, we can
Put
say
that on
that.
your list.
Days gone's on the list. That's a big time consumer. Death
That's a
Stranding's another
very big
time
one because you
consumer.
can start that and you can finish it. It takes a while.
Takes a while. There's The Witcher 3, time
Takes a while.
consuming. We've got Minecraft, got Ark, 7 Days to Die, and The Forests. There's a couple that we've actually been playing ourselves.
All four survivals. That's
Yeah,
random.
yeah. At the end there, survivals at the end. So I thought these
I
are
mean,
just
the
some.
forest is hard. 7 days is hard. Arc is hard.
Minecraft's just
You're in the
Minecraft.
dialogue. Also, if you plan to play the forest on single player, it's permadeath.
Hmm.
You die, you start back from the main menu.
Start from scratch.
Unless you save, I think.
Something I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
here in the weird place. So that's some games that I thought would recommend at least if you wanted to play something to pass some time. Give
Oh,
them a
yeah.
bell. I mean, there's plenty of other games. There's a lot of games for people that have, they're just some small recommendations.
I
But
mean, you've still got Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Doom
yeah,
Eternal. I just didn't rule them off for Daz.
no, they're all on the list as well. It's just like these are just ones I quickly whipped up that
Spider
came to
Man,
mind.
Miles Morales,
Yeah, there's a
Sackboy.
lot of games that are good
Oh
to
my
take up.
god.
Well, Miles Morales, I mean, that's like what it is kind of short. It's only like 9 hours, something like that, isn't it? You could play
I played it for 30 or 40.
you can play the base story within a day, I think it is.
It's like 5 hours, I think.
But then everything else you got to do, all the collectibles and all the side missions, really
But
takes up
still,
your
that's
time. So
pretty much a day you can spend on Miles Morales, and that's a day gone.
yeah, play a full 24 hours. But if you're not into your gaming, or you want to balance in between playing a bit of Cyberpunk, or maybe playing a bit of Dark Souls and you're raging, and you want to go, oh, I'm going to have a break and watch something. I've got a compiled list as well. So there's a list of things that I recommend that you to list. So these are all primarily trilogies and sagas. So like that really takes up your time. It's gonna take up your time. You can't just watch one. You got to watch all three of them,
I mean,
or all
you
four
can
of them,
watch just one
or
if
all
you make
25.
it through it.
So I put on the
I mean,
recommendation list for things to watch. I've got The Mandalorian is a good show to binge. That's definitely the binge worthy up there if you want to watch something. Binge both seasons of that. The reference to me saying 25 movies to watch, I'm just referring you can sit there and try and watch the entire MCU.
I don't think anyone would do that, to be fair. I think people
I
have, but
started doing it, but that was like a while back. I was watching like 2 movies a day,
then you stopped.
and then I stopped. Yes. So we made
But
it
2 movies a day.
through. We got to phase two, I think it was.
You got 2 and a bit days to get all them done.
Mm. So we're up to phase two.
Like,
I think we
imagine
got to
that.
originally, but so what else have I got? I've got there's the Hobbit trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So there's 6 movies there. At least if you're watching the extended cut, 4 hours a piece.
That's like 24 hours for them two trilogies.
So
Which
that's a full
it's
nice
worth
day's
it.
worth. Couch
It's
if you want to
worth
be
it.
a couch potato, go over some classics. Watch some Back to the Future. We got some
I don't
Star
recommend
Wars.
watching The Hobbit, then Lord of the Rings in a row if you're doing the extended ones.
Yeah. Oh, it's killer. I checked up on here. You've gone through them. The Matrix.
recently watched them in the last week.
uh,
I watch one every night for 3 days. That's not too bad.
and then I also checked up on there in line with that John Wick trilogy. It is a must.
I prefer John Wick over the Matrix. I think
And then for me,
it's
this
more
is
violent.
my only added little touch to it, the View Askew universe. So that's all of
What?
Kevin Smith, like Kevin
Oh,
Smith films. So you've got your Clerks and your Mallrats and all that, Jay and Silent Bob. So there's a lot of movies there you can just sit through and just
hmm.
watch. So if if
Time
if
will
you feel like time will fly. For me, I didn't even I got productive and I rearranged my room for half the day. So and then I sat down and played Cyberpunk for the rest of it. So
I mean,
that
it
was that
does
was
look
me.
better like that, like right now.
So yeah, I readjusted. So we'll show that off now. So I readjusted my shelf. So now that's all gaming. So actually, I might lower it down a bit. You might see shit on the floor. I don't know. My arm's sore. I had a tetanus slash whooping cough needle. So my arm is fucking
Whoopee
killing.
cough.
So as it's all there. So it's 360 games, and it comes up, and then it's my figures and stuff, and then it goes up to there. So
Hello. It's up to
hello.
there.
So it looks really nice. So all my Xbox One
Look,
games are at the top, and then it's all Xbox games on that shelf. So it's kind of
did
a
your
cool
Pip
layout.
Boy just light up? Just said.
Hey.
Did your Pip Boy just light up when you did that? Like went like that.
No, I think the lighting must have shadow must have hit the lights.
That's weird. Like it lit up like fucking flying flashed. That was
Ow,
weird.
that's making me wave that arm around. It really hurts. It feels like I've been punched in the arm. It's all swollen.
You did it.
Yeah, it was fine yesterday, and then it hurt last night, and then it was fine during the day. But I think all the lifting and stuff I've done has flared it up.
It's when you don't move it and then you move it after a little
It's
while.
all stiff, all in the.
A
But it's needed having a boost shot. So it's a
boostix.
yeah, they call it boostix.
Boostix.
So it's a boost of tetanus and whooping cough all in the one needle. So fucking expensive though. It cost me $36.
Jesus.
But I mean, I guess
Just
that's cheaper here. But
for
I
a
needed to get
needle?
it because it's when you get
Hey,
close
it's
to a
better than the US and stuff where it's going to cost you like a couple
couple
hundred.
hundred. Yeah, exactly. So still
Well,
like,
probably not
oh
a
my
couple of
god.
hundred, but I mean, their healthcare is a bit screwed up compared to ours.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. But I was just like, oh, I gotta have to pay it. I need to get it done. So it's done.
Just so
It's
you
only
don't get them.
a couple of months until the new boy is here. So that's
Be
March.
on the safe side.
So it's got to be done. Get it onto it early. So it was only like 4 years ago we last had our tetanus and whooping cough. But you got to do it again when you're like a new parent. It has to be done no
Oh,
matter what, even if it's only been in like a year or 2 years. There's like a
yeah,
period of
just in
time
case.
you got to do it again. It's like, fuck, I did this like I said, like I did this 4 years ago. You gotta do it again. Like, ah,
It's only a couple of
at
days of
least I'm
pain.
jacked up on my tetanus. Ha 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 ha!
I mean,
Cut myself with metal.
getting tetanus is rare though.
It
Really,
is
unless
very
it's a
rare.
very rusty thing that you tread on or cut yourself with,
Yeah,
which is rare because no one deals with rusty shit like that, and they're gonna go, "Oh, I'm gonna cut myself."
exactly.
If you do,
It's
you're
such
an
a weird.
idiot.
It's weird. But yeah, so that's my notes. My notes.
Boots.
Notes. But
Get some
no, that's
t-shirts. Woo!
so yeah. So this is it. So it's interesting that we've now got video.
We've
We
broken
appreciate.
the video bubble, bruh.
We finally got the video up. So like I said, there will be a blooper. I mean, this is straight raw, but the test footage I got the other day, I'll snip that up and put some of that footage up and remix it up a little bit and see
Oh
how we
no,
go.
not remixes.
And I've got to try and work this out because it's spazzed out, and I've got to try and clip these together. So there's going to now two clips for this episode. I've got to clip together and then clip the audio. I'm assuming I may have
The audio
recorded.
is gonna be different.
If the audio is recorded and it's just not showing the bar properly, that's fantastic. The
You just
podcast be
paste it
like,
on
"What's
there.
going on?" We're hearing you guys on the podcast be like, "What do you mean?" Oh, the video. Yeah, you got to get used to it now that we're not just got an audio podcast, but we have a visual podcast. So
You're
it's
gonna plug the
fantastic.
YouTube for if you like it. Smack that subscribe
So
button.
yes, yes, exactly. Like and subscribe if you've made it this far, and I'm positive we plugged the YouTube. Well, we've plugged the YouTube many other times before, but now we are officially on YouTube, which I did mention at the start. If I didn't get myself distracted, I can't remember.
I mean, you did, but not like this.
So yeah, so we've now got on YouTube, which again, Beardy Bros podcast. You can find us on YouTube. It's the same logo as basically what Jim's wearing. I think it was, or it's the other one, which is the same as the podcast on
You know what dancing for?
Spotify. I know, but it's great. It's just dancing.
Just,
But no, this is it. We're finally on the video. We've broken the video seal. We did say season 2 was going to be full of video, and it is. It's still going to be audio as always, and it's still going to come to your ears as always, straight into your ear holes and eye holes. Now, it's not just ear holes; it's ear holes and eye holes. So I don't know. There
I
is
can't think
there
of
is
a
a third
word
hole.
for both of them. I can't
There
think
is a
of
third
one.
hole, but I don't think we'll go
The
there. So
earballs.
earballs,
Earballs.
earballs,
Earballs. That could be a hashtag.
beardy earballs.
If you got earballs, watch and listen. Oh,
So
good.
now it's just the two times the work now on sharing with the socials now. So it's fun for
I
me.
mean, not really.
We're gonna plug both now, the audio podcast and the video podcast.
It's not hard.
Just copy and pasting a link. If you're listening and you want to help us, always copy and paste our links, share it around, retweets, likes, follows, subscribes. It all helps us. Muchly appreciate it. But yes, we're at an hour and 21 minutes
That's
and
the
42 seconds.
average, is like between 1 and 1.5.
Yeah, so I think this
It's
is
a
good.
big
Oh,
one, but
we've again our merch, the Beardy Bros shirt over there with Jim, and I've got the
it
Beardy
sucks as
singlet.
fat
Apparently, I'm
horse.
wearing a Beardy singlet now. Apparently, I mean you can get it in singlet. These designs, the Beardy, the Skull Beardy shirt and the Beardy Bros podcast shirt, they could be bought on multiple items, whether it's stickers, jumpers, shirts, singlets. They appear on all kinds of things. So and different colors as well. So it's pretty good.
Which is pretty damn. I think the green suits it though. Like it looks
It
so good.
does. It seems to be a thing like such like got the black with the green logo, so
You got the green and the black, and you got the black with the green.
yeah, it works. So yeah,
It'd be
so
weird wearing a green screen because I'll be a floating head with logos.
I need to plug the merch more. I need to actually get the links for the merch and share those specific.
Yeah, I forget to mention that.
You know how you see it. I gotta do that too. I gotta do that in the descriptions. So you guys, as always, we're gonna have this bit of
Oh,
the
yeah.
information where we are gonna talk at the end of the episode. So I gotta do that too with YouTube, where you know how you see when you see some people's YouTube channels, they have like the links to different other things. I need to start doing that on the
Yes.
YouTube now. Like in the description, be like, this is the link to the merch for this merch item. This is the links for all the
Twitter,
socials.
Insta.
Yeah, I gotta start doing that. That's gonna be fun.
We're not having a Facebook, I don't think, though, because that'll be just.
We're over that. I don't use Facebook as much as I used to, so just keep it
I
to the
use
main
the memes.
things. Instagram for mainly the memes or showing photos of what we're talking about. Um, Twitter for the main. I think Twitter's realistically our main social, and
Oh, yeah, because we
Twitter's
can
definitely a
actually
lot more,
have questions and polls and.
which is a lot better.
Like, we've got some decent feedback on Twitter. Like, we've had polls and people have actually answered and stuff like that. Like,
Gives us great feedback, so definitely I think we'll chuck a poll up there. What you think? Give us some feedback for this episode for sure. Um, be muchly appreciated. Hopefully, you like might be like Dale needs a new camera. It's fucking shit. And I'm like, I already know that, but thank you for passing on that information. Jim's got the best clear camera with the great lighting. You can see the difference budget of cost, but I'm
I
running on
mean,
the
I have a can usually, and you can't even
I'm
see
running
it.
on a $50 setup, and you're running on a $500 setup.
Wait,
You think about the microphone, the light, all that kind of other stuff.
the PC's included with that, and that was a few grand, so it's not really
No,
just
I'm not.
500.
I'm not counting the PC. Like the PC's a PC, but like this headset was free. I paid like $20 for the microphone.
Oof.
For the not for the microphone, the web camera, and then a few other things.
But I say you paid separate for the mic.
Yeah, it was the extra.
You're gone.
That was.
You're like, next up.
uh, it cost extra. That was just it was like EA. If EA sold merch, here's your headset. But it's just the frame. You gotta pay $50 for each earmuff, and then extra 100 for the microphone.
Ah, I'll be
uh,
no, no.
oh fuck.
You
But
can
no.
shove that mic where the sun don't shine.
Yep. But I think we'll wrap up the podcast here. I got some
Ooh,
editing to
boy.
do. We'll play some Rocket League. I might actually do some editing tomorrow. I'll leave it to you as always, Jim. Now you've got a video format to leave your outro. What are you gonna do? What's gonna happen?
I don't know.
So you got the audio as always, but
um,
now we've got video.
I kind of froze my
I don't know
outro
what to
because
do.
it's in a different setup. It's kind of like I'm streaming. Like it's weird. But as always, we have been Dale and Jim. How's it going again?
Stage
Uh,
right.
not really. It's just it feels like I'm streaming.
Yeah, I know it's
Like
different, eh?
weird. I mean, the phone's down there. But as always, Beardies and Beardettes, we've been Dale and Jim. Thanks for joining us on this very first video journey
Second
thing.
episode, season 2, episode 2.
Yeah, season two. We're gonna put season two in there, or just episode two, S2 episode two. I don't know.
Chap,
But
it's a reboot.
it is a reboot, just with video, video and
uh,
guests. Not this
yeah,
one, but last one.
no.
But as always, we've been Dale and Jim, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye. Do 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 do. Doodle doo 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 doo. Doodle doo.
Oh dear. Oh, that